What's up, everybody? It's Ty coming back to you with Montana Outlaw BBQ, part 2 of our how to apply our rub to different cuts of meat. I'm going to show you how to apply our beef rub to a basic New York strip. Let's talk about the seasoning. We use our beef rub on our steaks. It's high in salt content, it's high in pepper, garlic, all those good things. It's got some smoked paprika in there. It's going to throw a little color on there for us. But let's talk a little bit about why we want a rub that's high in salt content. When we let that rub sit on there, we're gonna let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes. Salt does a couple of things. Like we've talked about in other videos, it's gonna pull some of that water content that's sitting in this beef out. And so we're gonna concentrate those fatty, beefy flavors in that marbling. The other thing it's gonna do is it's gonna help tenderize the steak a little bit. If you have a steak that's maybe a choice, or one that's a little leaner that doesn't have this marbling in there, one of the things you could do is coat the whole thing in salt and kind of tenderize it. You'll want to rinse that off before you cook it, but it's going to quick tenderize that a little bit. It's called a salt brine. But for today, we are only going to be using our beef rub. It's going to be a really good complement of flavors. It's going to taste really good on this beef. We're going to go ahead and apply it. We don't want to go real thick and heavy. We've talked about our big cuts of meat. You got to put a lot on there. You got to have good rest time. These ones, we don't need to go real heavy, so we're just gonna go back and forth and apply it. We still wanna be able to see the marbling in there, and we're gonna take and tap it in. Again, you wanna just go ahead and drive those flavors down in there, and you can see, compared to our big cuts of meat, you can still see the marbling coming through in here, right there. You can still see that steak. So we're flip them over, we're gonna do the same thing again on the other side. Flip and repeat. Some people out there really enjoy the fat, so we're gonna hit that too. Make sure you get all the sides evenly. Again, not real heavy.
On these larger pieces of meat, we can use our rubs a little more liberally. So what we'll do is take our Montana Outlaw rub and we'll put on a medium to heavy coat. So you just kind of want to put it on there until you can't see the meat. Now, smaller cuts of meat, you wouldn't want to put it on so heavy because the spice would overbear it. But on large cuts like these, the benefits are having more of the flavor of the rubs. Okay, we have a pretty good covering, and then we'll pat it in. Okay, we're flipping over. This is the meat side of it, not the fat side. So we're putting it in there. We're going to pat it back in. This is what's going to give it the crust when you cook it, and that nice crusty you like on a rib roast or a prime rib. So now we'll let this rest for about 30 minutes. Let those rubs have a chance to absorb in it. You'll notice it'll start like starting to sweat. Then we'll get it right in the smoke and ready to go.
For today's seasoning, we're going to be using Blues Hog Bold and Beefy as our base. After we get done applying that, kind of a medium light coat, we're gonna go over it with a medium heavy coat of our Montana Outlaw beef rub. This one is gonna be heavy in paprikas. It's gonna add that nice red color. It's also gonna have the activated charcoal, sea salt, ground pepper in it. Of course, ground pepper, so we get that pepper kick. We get the activated charcoal for a little bit of a smoky kick in there. That paprika adds that beautiful color. So we're gonna hit that on the back. On the sides, when we do it here, we're only going to be applying the Montana Outlaw beef rub. We're not looking for a lot more flavor additions on the edges. We're just looking for that color and a set good bark. So we'll flip over the point. We'll hit the edges of the flat with the Montana Outlaw beef rub. And again, we're going to go medium heavy, enough to cover up the grain of the meat. Most of that's going to soak in. You're not going to even notice that you've put on a lot. Briskets are a big cut, like we've talked about in the past. You want to make sure that you really hit your big cuts with a lot of meat, or with a lot of seasoning. They're a big cut of beef. They take a lot of seasoning, unlike a chicken or a pork chop or a steak, where you need to be a little bit more delicate with it. You can apply a large amount of rub to these bigger cuts, your briskets, your pork butts, your roasts, those sort of things. So go ahead and hit the top side just the same as you have the back side. And there we go. You can already start to see the salt's doing its job. It's extracting some of that flavor.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this edition of Montana Outlaw BBQ. Drop a comment down below for what else you want to see us cook. Easy weeknight meals, how-tos from beginner all the way to expert recipes. We love cooking for you guys. Hit the bell, hit the subscribe button. You don't want to miss anything we're doing on this channel. We got a lot more stuff coming at you. Come back, tune in again. Thanks everybody. This is Ty with Montana Outlaw BBQ. We'll see you next time.